Why must you know about this new up-and-coming decentralized exchange on the Cardano blockchain? We're talking about Genius Yield in today's video, and we're going to look at that answer. We're going to look at the reasons why you must understand what Genius Yield is and how you might be able to participate in this truly innovative DEX. This is one of the most anticipated exchanges I've been waiting for quite some time. Okay, the Genius Yield team has been building this exchange for over a year or over a couple years, and we're going to look at the papers, we're going to look at the documents, we're going to look at the tokenomics, and we're going to look at the reasons why I feel like this is one of the sleeper DEXs. And there are ways to participate that we're also going to look at that you could think about participating in right now as this DEX begins to roll out its mainnet, its utility, its upgrades. Fasten your seatbelts here because we're going to get into Genius Yield DEX. Okay, they went through an ISPO last year. ISPO is the initial stake pool offering. It's how they begin to roll out their tokens, get awareness, raise funds to build. It's one of the unique features, the dApps, the decentralized applications. It's how they build on the Cardano network. Because we have this ability for liquid staking in the Cardano ecosystem, applications are using this ISPO feature to launch their protocols. Now, unfortunately, I was not a part of that. I was late to the epic, so I did not participate in that initial ISPO, but I was able to participate in some of the Genius X ISPOs, the multi-token ISPO. So we're not going to get into Genius X right now, but we're going to focus on Genius Yield, and Genius X will come out also. It's a launch pad. Okay, so unlocking DeFi for everyone. Okay, the all-in-one platform that combines a concentrated liquidity DEX, automated yield optimizer. Okay, let's just kind of review their website, geniusyield.co. They have the NFTs, tokens and sales, documents. Okay, you can actually become an ambassador and work with them, and then there's the Genius Academy there. We're going to go into all of it because this is one of the greatest innovations in the Cardano ecosystem and a revolutionary DEX for lots of different reasons, built by one of the most trusted teams out there, Lars. He's the director. This guy Lars is the director of the Plutus Pioneer Program. And what Plutus is, it is a pioneering language that Cardano built to run applications and smart contracts. And this Plutus language is state of the art, and there can't be enough said about Plutus. And so what Genius Yield is doing is it's using all the potential of Plutus in the creation of its DEX. Because Lars and the team, not just Lars, but this entire team, has such a wealth of knowledge in Plutus by actually teaching these Plutus Pioneer programs, which is a program that you could enter and learn how to code in this Plutus language. It is an extremely difficult language to code in. The earth has not seen this language yet. And so I actually look at it like this. When you get your computer, let's say you're on your computer right now, or a MacBook computer, or any computer. Most of us, when we're using our computers, are only using like 10% of what this computer can offer. I would say that that's pretty much the case for me. I'm not a developer, I'm not a coder. I use the computer for certain things, but there's so much more that the computer can offer that just average people like me and maybe you don't unlock. That is the case here with Plutus. Most of the builders on the Cardano blockchain that are building applications, okay, they are utilizing Plutus, but not to the full potential. And this is where Genius Yield kind of steps up to the plate and hits something out of the park that I feel will pave the way to allow some of these other builders that we've already been building, maybe their exchanges, and upgrade to this feature, because Plutus is just an incredible language. I'm going to do a deep dive in just the languages of Cardano. Ouroboros, Plutus, Marlowe, the stuff they're doing with Hydra. There's so many innovations that this ecosystem is pioneering. It's really staggering. And so my purpose with these videos is to just slowly drip some education to you and point you in the direction of the Cardano ecosystem if you are an investor in the crypto space, or you're thinking about investing, and choosing a layer one like Cardano might be a beneficial choice. Okay, it has been for me. So why Genius Yield? So while DeFi, decentralized finance, provides many investment opportunities, managing capital is both complex and time-consuming. Genius Yield is your all-in-one solution to benefit from advanced algorithmic trading strategies and yield optimization opportunities. Our Smart Liquidity Management protocol is intuitive, hassle-free, and secure. Genius Yield minimizes risk and maximizes profits. We're going to look at this, what this looks like. They're going to democratize DeFi for everyone. Okay, that's a really difficult vision to have, to address the complexity of navigating yield opportunities in DeFi. Okay, their mission is to democratize DeFi for everyone by providing best-in-class automated liquidity management powered by, you saw it in the sub-headline of the video here, AI, artificial intelligence. So when you are participating in MinSwap, like we have been, I've been showing you videos, MinSwap, Wing Riders, there's Blue Shift, okay, there's Sunday Swap. Genius Yield is trying to offer something different by using the power of artificial intelligence. So if I want to manage my MinSwap account, I have to manually go in there to mitigate impermanent loss. I have to actually be treating it like a full-time job. If I want to remove myself from impermanent loss, then I'm going to have to continually keep a close eye on price action on all my different pools and add some liquidity in one area if one token goes in another direction, or remove liquidity in one area. And that is a cumbersome process. I do not do that. I don't have the time to do that. And so in my last video, when I talk about impermanent loss, you'll hear me talk about impermanent loss. I'm not extremely worried about impermanent loss because I'm not looking to sell within a short time zone. I'm looking to sell way later. I mean, 5 years is my soft target. So it's definitely not within a year. These videos that I started to come out with, they marked the year of my participation in these DEXs, which I haven't really sold out. Okay, I've moved my positions around, but I have my assets still in the applications to compound their interest. Now, what Genius Yield is saying is that that's great. Okay, maybe, see, the person like me who's really not too concerned about impermanent loss, and someone who's just okay with price volatility, he wants both of the assets in the pool, and he's okay to have less ADA and more MinSwap or vice versa, is willing to stay long enough in the game until these pools will restabilize before he would sell. I might be a very slim percentage of a person. Most people are really in this game, they're providing liquidity, their short-term mindset has them selling and liquidating their positions a lot. Genius Yield wants to help these people, the majority of people who are stressed out about impermanent loss, to do some of this trading and optimization for you. So to use AI to sort of make moves for you that would mitigate your permanent loss and actually then give you a lot more profit in the end. So this is why I'm so excited about Genius Yield. So look at the problem. Current DeFi world is too complex. Like I said, it's extremely complex. I don't get into the complexity of it. I sit back on the sidelines, I do my research, and I invest with a long-term mindset. Genius aims to simplify it for the masses. So with Genius, anyone can reap the benefits of the DeFi world, which is incredible. So you deposit your tokens in our Smart Liquidity Vaults. See, that's a unique, I've never heard of a term, Smart Liquidity Vaults, right? You select and customize your liquidity management strategy and watch your assets grow and take profits. What I love about the timing of this video is that this DEX is yet to launch. You are still in the very, very, very beginning. early to consider, have some time to do some research to consider even participating in this when it does come out. Because when a DEX first rolls out, the yields are always extraordinarily higher than they are after a couple months, after 6 months, after a year. The yields are cut like way in half. Okay, so to get in and to participate with a small amount that you're comfortable with, no financial advice, could be beneficial. So what are their solutions to these problems and these challenges? Okay, they have a concentrated liquidity DEX combined with smart liquidity management. So what does that mean? You're going to gain access to the best yield optimization opportunities and get more out of your liquidity. Like I said, when I'm just sitting with my assets in MinSwap or Wing Riders, it's great. I'm participating, I'm supporting the team, supporting the protocols. I'm gaining liquidity fees, but they're really actually not that big. I might do a video on liquidity fees and how much it actually means for your percentage of the portfolio. Let me tell you right now, the rewards aren't that impressive. But imagine if there was something going on with AI that could actually help optimize my yield when price volatility occurs. So it's AI powered, automated algorithmic trading strategies. So instead of me having to go in there and make these moves, which is challenging and extremely difficult and risky, and then there are fees, and it just does not exist yet in any DEXs that are currently out there. Genius Yield is going to have this built in-house, okay? Because again, like I said, they're using and leveraging the power of Plutus and what Cardano can fully offer behind the scenes in their UI, their user interface, okay? And so the user experience, look at this website. This website is beautiful, by the way, right? I mean, they know what they're doing. It's an all-in-one solution. It's the first DeFi platform in the industry to combine a concentrated DEX with a liquidity management system. So no one's doing that. They're not in a rush also to come out. I remember back in the beginning, MinSwap and SundaySwap, they're gunning to be able to say on their social media that we were the first DEX to come on the scene. And there was a race to get out there first. There's a lot of bragging rights to that. They could say for history that I was the first DEX out there. Let me tell you right now, Lars has been a part of IOG, Input Output Global, one of the founding entities of Cardano, and like I said, a Plutus pioneer teacher, okay, this scholar of a guy. And I suggest you just search Lars. We'll get into maybe the team and find his exact name so you can search him on video. I've watched everything this guy had to offer, and just listening to him, even though I don't understand half the stuff he's saying, I leave feeling a little bit fatigued mentally, but definitely smarter like the next day. Like when you work out, right, your muscles, you feel fatigued. The next day you're a little sore, but then you kind of get stronger. That's kind of how it is every time I listen to this Lars, man. And they're not in a rush. It's another impressive thing. They're in no rush because nobody really understands what they're doing. They're going to open source all their code, and this is why I feel like a lot of DEXs are going to catch up and use some of these fantastic values from Genius Yield. They have smart swaps. What? What is a smart swap? They're buy and sell orders that automatically execute based on some programmable logic. Smart Swap allows for incredible flexibility and modularity with the potential to provide sophisticated trading functionalities found in traditional exchanges, like limit orders and more dynamic orders and algorithmic orders. That does not exist, ladies and gentlemen. It does not exist. For you to be participating in a DEX and provide liquidity and then have this kind of functionality happen for you in your position is extraordinary. Concentrated liquidity. Let's see what that means. It permits liquidity providers to allocate their capital at selected price ranges. And then Uniswap v3 version 3. This is the major leading DEX on the Ethereum network. And this unlocks tremendous capital efficiency gains for liquidity providers who can manually adjust their exposure based on their trading strategies. The features that Genius Yield is doing, I'm telling you, you can't, we could spend 8 hours talking about this, so I'm going to try to kind of breeze through here. We have the Smart Liquidity Vault. This is a Genius Yield invention that uses AI-powered smart liquidity management. It's a DeFi yield optimization solution that algorithmically automates trading strategies to maximize users' APYs while minimizing risk exposure. So once you go into this smart liquidity vault and you set your parameters, it's like a smart contract that you're entering, that you sign off that this exchange can make certain movements for you in real time to optimize your yield while minimizing your risk exposure. And when this DEX finally rolls out, I will absolutely come on and I will make videos, take you through the process of my very beginning participation in it, okay? And then in this video right now, I'm gonna show you at some point the positions I'm in and how I'm actually participating, because certain features are open. They're MVP, you could say. I mean, maybe a mini MVP, they're minimal viable product. So there's auto compounding, right? There's this groundbreaking yield optimizer, and then they're coming out with a wallet in their own right. Powerful Genius wallet. They aim to bridge that gap between traditional finance and decentralized financial. At the center of this synergy will be the Genius wallet that allows direct fiat deposit on ramp. So cracking the code and dealing with fiat currency has been an enormous hurdle for the decentralized world as it relates to decentralized exchanges, because any area where you want to interact with fiat currency, whether it's the dollar or the yen, the yuan, you're going to have to participate in a centralized exchange where the money is centralized, the fiat comes out of a bank, it's a centralized entity. So how can a decentralized environment operate with fiat? That is what is being built right now. And let me tell you, Cardano has an extremely powerful DeFi summer, meaning a DeFi frenzy is upon this network. And you are in a great position if you're watching this video, close to when this is released, because the scaling potential could be grand. Nobody has a crystal ball. I don't really know when or what's going to happen, but being in this space for quite some time, I can sense a lot of exuberance, and I can tell massive building is going on, and especially with this team. Okay, they have a YouTube channel and they come out with updates on a monthly basis. They're fantastic. Knowledge is power. Okay, they have industry experts, tutors, segmented by language. They have all these videos that they're doing, and here's their roadmap. 21, they really started to kind of do it, right? So they've been building and kicking butt for a while. 2022, they did all this white paper, ambassador program. Okay, ISPO ends. Like I said, I kind of missed out on that one. I was participating in several ISPOs, just not this one, I'm sad to say. Genius Yield ISPO NFT distribution. And if you watch my previous videos, you'll see that I've already showcased Genius Yields in one position that I had that utilizes one of their NFTs to gain boosting rewards in my NFT video, where I went NFT A to Z. I was talking about the power of NFTs in the DeFi space. And so we'll kind of look at my positions in a second. Here we go. We're in 2023, the public testnet, the mainnet, smart liquidity testnets, and mainnets. And that's another unique feature about the Cardano ecosystem. They have this ability to release their applications in a testnet environment with real cryptocurrency that is like test cryptocurrency. So if you're one of these coders and you are development savvy, which I am not, you can initiate and get on this public testnet, which is for the public, and go ahead and mess around and play around and see if you can find any bugs. And they go through a process of this, and everybody comes in, all these stake pool operators and developers go in here and they play around and they try to break the system, essentially. It's like a public audit in a way, and they find bugs and then they fix bugs. And they do all this before they hit the mainnet. And that's another thing unique to the Cardano ecosystem, where they have this ability because of how this protocol was designed. It allows these applications and developers to launch on these testnets. Meld is another perfect example. That'll probably be my next video. It's another lending, it's another application, but it's a lending and borrowing service that is coming up to release. So it's another one of these early risers. It's always a mission to become listed on a centralized exchange, because once some protocol like Genius Yield or Meld, or I mean, I remember when I first got into Cardano, it was only really offered on Binance, and it was a while before it was offered in a centralized exchange like Kraken and Coinbase and all of that. Okay, it took a long time. I remember people saying, oh, it'll never be listed. Cody is another example of something that took a while to get listed on a centralized exchange. It's a very difficult, arduous, expensive process. So because they have that on the roadmap, makes me really take them serious. They have media, okay, where you can just totally check these little links out, and then you can be the first to know. So I've entered my email here, and I'm up to date, and I'm a part of their Discord. All of these aspects you can check out. So let's look at token and sales. So click on that little link and see what comes up. Here is another thing that I just am completely excited about. So the Gens token, you can stake Gens, we're gonna get there. This seed sale ended. It just gives you a lot of this information here. I thought I would give you the amount of tokens. I think it's 100 million actually. But it gives you this pie chart, the seed round, the ISPO, the team, marketing and partnership, public sale, token liquidity, ecosystem development fund, rewards program, the treasury. Oh yeah, the token supply is 100 million. That to me is a very small number. I love being a part of these projects where their token supply is 100 million and getting into it early. Wing Riders is another example. We looked at Blue Shift. They have 100 million. Wing Riders 100 million. Genius Yield 100 million. Right now, when you check out the price, let's go ahead and check out the price. If I go over here and go on like CoinGecko, is a great website. Okay, and we type in Genius Yield. Genius, Gens, boom. Okay, 30 cents. 30 cents. To me, that's extremely cheap. Because the tokenomics are low, I could see this being $3 in a bull run for sure. So if you're investing, this isn't financial advice, you're just saying in something in its infancy, when it barely even started, is 30 cents, and it starts to get traction in users and TVL, and the DEX achieves a lot of high TVL, total value lockup, I could see this going to $3 or more. You know, I mean, it's just in its infancy. Okay, CoinGecko is fantastic. Let's go to the max. They've really just started, okay? The price has not broken out yet. And I think that there is a tremendous amount of potential, in my view, with Genius Yield, okay? With the tokenomics being so low. When you type Wing Riders, there's another one that has 100 million. It's even cheaper, right? Who knows? Who knows, right? These coins are in their infancy. That's the beautiful thing about these projects, is that they came out during this bear market and built this entire time with no exuberance in the world, no happy frenzy whatsoever. And they are just building and pioneering and attracting smart investors like you and me who potentially see some effects that could be positive here. And frankly, just supporting these projects is a wonderful feeling. So we're going to get back to Genius Yield and their tokenomics there, and it's just, to me, it's extremely exciting. Their documents. I love the docs because they're not as technical as the white papers, but the white papers you must read. Less hassle, minimize risk. We're just going to breeze through. What is it? Why Cardano? See, Cardano is a third generation blockchain. That's something unique. Okay, Bitcoin is the first generation. It came out to the scene and disrupted the entire world with its UTXO model, its unspent transaction output model. And then Ethereum came on the scene. That was the second generation, which it presented smart contracts to the world. So not only can we send and receive cryptocurrency assets back and forth, so financial code back and forth, but you can also include other data and other information that can then be triggered and released when certain metrics are met. So Cardano then comes onto the scene as this third generation blockchain designed on peer review research, offering transformation functionalities unmatched in other smart contract blockchains. And that cannot be stated lightly. Last year alone, over $10 billion was stolen in the Ethereum EVM network. Okay, so the smart contract game is no joke. There's a lot of financial money passing back and forth. Cardano does not want to see this kind of exploitation. So they have built their code and their protocol completely different. And Charles Hoskinson, you might know this, you might not know, that he was one of the original founders of Ethereum and broke off to start his own company or protocol over here, Cardano, named after Girolamo Cardano. It's wonderful. Check out Cardano's website and look through their roadmap. It's just incredible. Genius Yield is building the most innovative technology on the Cardano network. And we already looked at why. We already looked at the vision, the solutions, okay? And this is another thing that you should just kind of run through, because after this video, you're going to have different questions. You're going to be like, I don't know, like you're going to forget certain things. And so you can read more in detail what these smart swaps are, what these liquidity vaults are, okay? Genius Pay, that's another thing. That, like, I'm seeing like Ada Pay, I'm seeing Cody Pay, I'm seeing Genius Pay, I'm seeing this concept of this pay system that, in my view, in the future, you'll be able to use these tokens for payment solutions, perhaps at Starbucks, perhaps at a store, as you buy a car or something, right? As the adoption continues to grow, I think there's the DeFi alliance growing, the likes of like MasterCard, Visa, and Discover. You know, when you walk into a store, you see a little square next to the register that says MasterCard, American Express, Visa, Discover, some other forms of payment that this business will accept. Well, I mean, when my parents were growing up, or my grandparents, they didn't have any of that. That was a new innovation. And those businesses like MasterCard, American Express, and all those businesses came into the scene, and then this whole concept of a plastic card. Okay, it was hard for people to wrap their mind around this. They were like, what are you talking about? You're gonna give me this plastic card and I'm gonna go into a store and like swipe this card and it's going to retrieve money from my account? Can you imagine the older people of that time trying to come to terms with that? It was impossible concept. And what did we see? Okay, the world eventually adopted this new system that you and I look at as just standard. Of course, how many credit cards does everybody have? You're getting a credit card solicitation envelope in your mailbox every other day, it seems. Okay, now it's something standard. So I believe that the vision is changing, the paradigm is shifting, the code is upgrading, and these plastic cards are going to maybe become obsolete, because now you just connect your credit card to your phone and you kind of swipe your phone underneath of the kiosk scanner. So the really use case of these cards is becoming archaic, in my opinion. It's got a version 1, an introduction, the conclusion, the white paper, and I'm just going to go into it. How do you stake? We're going to get into that. The DEX white paper, it's beautiful. I mean, I'm telling you, just, you know, I don't say, okay, I'm going to read 1 to 28. I say, I'm just going to read 2 or 3 pages. So you have Marvin Burton, the guy Lars Bruns, and Hood Wuhab, okay, Genius Labs, University of Wyoming. This guy Lars is the guy I was kind of mentioning. They give you this abstract, and look, hey, they're hiring. That's another thing. It's actually really exciting because this decentralized environment, you literally could sort of invent your own job and just reach out to these people. And if you have any kind of code knowledge or you're willing to learn, now's a great time to reach out to these organizations and see if you can find a place. They talk about the settlement layer, the EUTXO model, right? They're going to go into all this. And this is how I've really started to understand. I mean, it's probably impossible for me to articulate it out in my words right now, but I have more of an understanding of it in my brain having read through this, where you learn about the UTXO model from Bitcoin and how Cardano created what's called the EUTXO model, the extended output, unspent transaction output model, okay, based on a smart contract ledger. In my opinion, way more secure and less cumbersome than the Ethereum account-based model, okay? So they talk about this, and they talk about the account-based model and the challenges, okay? The demand on the system. This is why Ethereum struggles with gas fees, and if a smart contract or a transaction doesn't execute in a certain amount of time, the transaction might not go through, but you still had to pay the fees. And so for developers, for applications, they are really negatively impacted by that. There's something that within the space called the Great Ethereum Migration, where a lot of these Ethereum projects are moving over to the Cardano network for these very reasons, okay? And it kind of goes into a lot of this stuff. Singularity Net is one of them. I think Iagon is another one. They're moving their entire network over to Cardano because Ethereum is definitely promising that they're changing and versions are coming out and they're getting into staking differently. Ethereum is a proof of work protocol which uses mining machines like Bitcoin, and Cardano is a proof of stake protocol where they have accomplished a distributed network of validators. And when you download a wallet like Daedalus on your computer, you actually are downloading a node and becoming part of that distributed network system. Okay, so the demand, the output of validating transactions is a lot more efficient energetically on the Cardano ecosystem than it is in Ethereum or Bitcoin. Okay, but what Ethereum's trying to do is they're trying to switch from proof of work to proof of stake. Well, let me tell you right now, that is a difficult task. So Cardano started with that. This is really beautiful. I actually write these things down. I kind of just draw it out exactly, because for me, when I draw these things out, it actually helps me understand it a little more, what the settlement layer is. And that's why I really stress to people, when you're looking to invest in cryptocurrency projects, don't just go to CoinMarketCap or CoinGecko and try to invest in the first top 10. I would say do research and look at the best layer 1 protocols out there and start to think about investing in them. Not financial advice, right? But if you choose the correct layer 1, well, you can bet your bottom dollar that there's going to be a lot of layer 2 solutions building on that application that can scale that layer 1's motive, okay? And so, like I said, you're going to go in, it gives you these, I don't see anyone else, Genius Yield, I don't see anyone else creating these ways to really drive home and make this digestible for you. Parallelism, scalability, composability. And so, okay, just go ahead, take some time, read through one page here, one page there, because if you're considering using Genius Yield, you must read, take the time to read the documents, the papers, research the team, okay? And this is me trying to encourage you to do that. And if I were to tell you that I am not a big reader, I don't really like to read a lot. I'm not a super reader. I'm more of an active person. I like audio learning. So it is a challenge for me to go through these. Just like anything else you do that you might not really like to do, over time, you get more accustomed to it and you see the value a lot more. So when I weigh in how much value this has for my effort to read, then it sort of balances itself out. Okay, it goes into the related work, talks about Uniswap, which I just enjoyed. Sometimes I'll read these a couple times actually. And their charts are just apps. Look at these charts. They're beautiful, okay? And it just goes into it, methodology. It's going to really talk to you about what these transactions are. Like people will say, well, what's this whole blockchain thing? Well, what's contained inside of a block? This description actually shows you what's going on inside of these blocks and how they're chaining together and how Genius Yield is setting the bar. That's what they're doing. They're setting the bar for how this can go down and the complexity behind it all. Look at these charts, I'm telling you. What's a concentrated liquidity provider? How do liquidity providers earn profits? That's exciting to understand. Liquidity providers, they're market makers, state machine. Look at this, it's just wonderful. And you'll look at this for a while and be like, 10 minutes before it might make sense to you. Okay, these open orders, these filled orders, the close orders. Scalability, okay, smart order router. It's like really, really fantastic. And it just goes on and on and on. It's a very robust white paper. There are endless ways for you take some time and you're going to learn something. I'm telling you, you might not going to learn this whole thing, and I don't know this, right? I'm actually doing this video now. I haven't looked at this white paper for a really long time, and some of these charts I felt like I've never seen before, like this one right here. I have seen it, so I'm going to go back through and actually encouraging myself to kind of take some time to go through it again so I can talk about it, right? Because my family is asking me, and my friends, and I actually have a private group. I have had a private group for a couple years now, just very quietly, and since doing these videos, I have on my website, I have a website, Cryptofluency.com, where we seek to educate people on the ins and outs of what cryptocurrencies are, what blockchains are. Here's a perfect example of why I created that. Like if you've watched my video back with the NFT A to Z, you're going to see that I had a gens position here with the mascot, but since then I've added more positions to my private group. Before I actually initiate any kind of new position, whether it's on MinSwap or Genius Yield or any kind of move that I'm making, I initiate a notification that if you're a part of the private group, you'll get it, and then you'll see me in real time what I'm doing. And it's not that you need to do it. It's not that it's a financial advisement for you to actually do exactly what I'm doing, but you can see what I'm doing in real time so that you can become aware of maybe why I'm doing an opportunity. And I normally will include the reason why. Okay, lots of these things are very time sensitive. Like for instance, this NTX vault that I got into, this was the first day it was open. It's actually July 21, 2023 is when I'll be able to unlock it, because it's a 3-month lockup period. But it was the very day that it opened. So boom, I had NTX in my wallet. I staked it, because rather than having it sit in my wallet and not compound, I'm going to gain 6% over the 3 months. I decided to move differently into another vault here with some more gens that I had. I had a different NFT I found in the secondary marketplace for actually pretty cheap, and that's going to give me an additional APY, plus 5% additional APY. And you can see I'm in these positions for long term, okay, 12 months. And NMaker also, 12 months. Again, I just had this in my wallet. Instead of just letting it hang out, I'm gonna, will gain that 10%. And I'm not looking to, this is I did on April 19th. The date of this video, April 25th. Okay, I did that one April 19th, and this one April 20th. And this one I think was the 21st of April, right? So there's 3 months there. So yeah, I will include these in real time. You can go to that website. It's going to be down in the description. You can check it out. I'm just starting it out of necessity, out of popular demand. I do offer some good advice to people here and there, and they tell me, hey, start a website. So I'm kind of taking my hand at that and stating these videos, because other than just managing my own portfolio, I feel like the time is ripe for people to become aware of these opportunities, okay, that are happening all over the place. So I'll continue to update these videos and do more analysis of this DEX as it actually happens and it rolls out. So let me take you back to this original, and I'm just showing you this. This is where you'll first come onto the website. What you'll then do is you'll hit stake gens. You'll click that button, and it's going to take you to this website. It's their application, okay? It's going to take you to this website. So it's the app. You're going to have to connect your wallet. So you're going to connect your wallet. I have my NAMI connected here. If you go to home, right, look at this, coming soon. Okay, the DEX is not launched yet. The DEX is still waiting to come out. So it's not even here. You're early. Swap. Can't create an order yet. It's not quite ready. It's about to come out I think in this quarter. Definitely this quarter or next. Pools, they're coming soon. They're not here yet. The only thing that you can do if you want to begin is earn by joining one of their vault staking, the yield farming, coming soon, right? Because you need to have the DEX rolling out. You need to be able to provide liquidity, get your LP tokens and stake them into the protocol to begin yield farming. So this will all be rolling out. So the only thing you can do right now is vault staking. So if I wanted to enter a new vault, like I said, I just had one of these since December 22nd, 2022 is when I initiated this one. You just click another staking vault. It's going to ask you, which one do you want to stake? Right? When I first started this, there was only one, just gens. And then NMaker came out, and then just recently NTX. They, I think, if I'm not mistaken, that they are just time sensitive. So for a certain amount of months, they'll have this available, and then you might not see NMaker there anymore. You might not see NTX actually after the 3 months. So you could just begin. You could just click that. It's going to ask you in NMaker's case, how many months do you want to lock it up for? I don't have any to stake. And actually, I didn't know this, but because I'm a part of the Discord, I asked them in Discord if it would accept an NFT. And for both NMaker and NTX, there was no NFT that you could use to boost, just only in the gens pools. And that's one of the benefits of being a part of their Discord and being part of the community, because you're not only coordinating with the team and talking to other people, but the developers in real time are going to give you these answers, right? So I suggest from the very first website back over here in this website, I suggest you go down to the bottom. I always do this, and I join their Discord. And then I ask a question, hey, how you doing? You'll go through a very tiny verification process so they understand that you're not a bot. Then you can ask a couple questions. Hey, how you doing? If nobody responds to you, well, maybe I don't want to be a part of this community, because if I do have a question and I'm in dire need of an answer, and now I'm finding out that this community doesn't really talk to you, I'm up the creek without a paddle, right? I said that before. But so I want to make sure that the team is communicative in some way, shape, or form. Okay, so that's what you do. You choose, and I choose the 12-month because it gives you way more APY. It's going to say, look, man, be aware that tokens and NFTs cannot be unstaked until the lock period is over. Okay, so you have to be well aware of that. You do gens. If you do NTX, you can only stake for the 3 months. And the gens token. So here it is. This is where we're at so far, as far as how you can participate in Genius Yield right now. Where can you get Genius tokens? You can get them on Wing Riders. You can get them on MinSwap is probably one of the better bets. Go on MinSwap, and you click the overview. You're gonna look down here, and here you go, ADA gens. Here you go. It's at 0.9 of an ADA. Okay, go on in there. You'll go ahead and swap. You'll swap for some gens, right? And you're just going to go ahead and make the little swap. That'll be in your Nami wallet, and then you'll go over back to gens. You'll connect your wallet there, and then you'll create a vault. I think I do have gens tokens actually. Oh, another thing that I actually like about Genius Yield is the other apps will tell you exactly how much you have, but you have to actually type in how much you want to stake, right? And I think I have. So yeah, I have a 5,000 here I could enter in, but I'm actually building more of a position to wait for the DEX, and when it rolls out, to participate as an LP, as a liquidity provider. Okay, so Genius Yield, optimizing AI. It is one of the greatest solutions, DEXs, innovations that I've seen in the Cardano ecosystem so far. And it's really pretty cool. So you can check it out for yourself. Okay? Utilize the power of AI to initiate these smart swaps, so I don't have to sit there and belabor over this impermanent loss issue, which I already told you I'm not that concerned with impermanent loss. Why? Well, impermanent loss is only permanent when you sell. Okay? That's why it's called impermanent loss. So if you hold your position and let the market open itself up over time, over long periods of time, the stabilization, the 50-50 ratio to where you entered both of your assets, when that restabilizes, then you sell at that point, you have no impermanent loss. And you will have gained your positions because of the fees, and in the Cardano ecosystem's case, the staking and the yield farming, and some of these quadruple yields, right? You're not only getting the staking rewards from ADA, which is revolutionary in any blockchain. Okay, so when you lock up ADA and MinSwap, or ADA and gens, the ADA that you locked up is getting staked. And you're getting that ADA back. And then You're getting liquidity provider fees. So every time people trade and buy and sell, there's a fee. That fee is the portions of those fees are given to the liquidity providers. That's what the difference is with a decentralized exchange over a centralized exchange. Okay, every fee that's transacted in a centralized exchange goes where? It goes to the centralized entity. That's why they are making so much money, because a very small amount of people who created the centralized DEX, or this decentralized exchange, the CEX, the CEX, like Coinbase, Kraken, Binance, they're getting all those fees. They're getting that money. But in a decentralized exchange, the liquidity providers who provide their liquidity to make up the liquidity, to make up the pool, so that when people are buying and selling, they're actually taking some out of your pool. You are providing that for them. So whether it's $1,000 or $500 or $5,000, your $5,000 or $1,000 adds to my 1,000, and it goes up and up. And you can see in these DEXs, they'll say how much is in the pool, how much liquidity is there. Millions of dollars are there accumulated by people like me and you adding their liquidity. And if you can keep it in there, if you could just invest what you are not needing in the next immediate months or maybe year, or better yet, like 5 years, so you can allow this to mature and really see the compound growth, then impermanent loss becomes a non-issue, right? It becomes a non-issue. So get excited about Genius Yield. I'm very excited. When this DEX rolls out, when it puts up updates, I promise, I submit to you that I will roll it out in real time. And if you want information in real time that I do across the entire portfolio management system in my own right, then check out my private group. It's very simple. It's very straightforward. It's very economical in my opinion, because a lot of these groups are crazy expensive, you know. So just go ahead and check that out if you'd like to hear what I'm doing in real time. And until then, I'll see you in the next video. Stay strong.